How you doing? This is the socially detached Temple Bar Bad Dad, bad as a good, Terry Thatcher. And I'm just here to do a little Q A session for my good friend Tommy Flynn for the OTT and Irish Wrestling fan page on Facebook. Uh, yeah, just it'll be me rambling on for a bit, answering a few questions about various things throughout my career. So let's get kicked off. First question: who or what made me decide to be a wrestler? Um, I, as far as my interest in wrestling, I didn't really have an option in that. I, I'm come from a big family. I'm the seventh out of 8 kids. So when you've got that many older brothers and sisters, you don't really have an option in what you watch. So, and plus, like, we're talking like late 80s, early 90s. We had like 4 channels. So yeah, I definitely didn't have an option of what I was watching. So I was watching whatever my older brothers and sisters were watching. But I distinctly remember being a big fan of Ultimate Warrior. You know, massive comic book character coming to life. I mean, what's not to love? Apart from all the racism that we found out about later, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I remember going through a phase where I wouldn't answer to my own name. I would only answer to Ultimate Warrior, and raiding me ma's makeup sets and doing the face paint and stuff like that. So yeah, I was a massive Ultimate Warrior fan. But then as I got a little bit older, uh, I started kind of realizing, I'm probably never gonna look like that guy. But you see someone like Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels, or more specifically, 1, 2, 3 Kid, and I'd see them and go, well, maybe I can't look like Warrior, but maybe I could look like these guys. And plus, like, I was also a massive, really, really into martial arts movies as well. So 1, 2, 3 Kid doing high flying and doing all that karate, as we called it then. Uh, yeah, that was right up my alley. So he was a big influence on me. Actually raging when he came over for OTT a few years back at WrestleCon, and I wasn't able to make the shows, so I was snapping about that. But like, yeah, still, uh, X-Pac 1, 2, 3 Kid, he was massive influence on me, and yeah, maybe really interested in pursuing this. Question 2: who were my trainers? I've had a fair few different ones. IWW, I had Sheamus was the head trainer, although he was kind of very rarely down. So guys like Vic Viper and Red Vinny would take over training, but then they weren't able to be down all the time. So uh, Bancatraz and Sean South, who's now known as Alexander Dean, they took over and they were teaching all the classes. And then Bingo Balance and Ballymun Bruiser would take classes as well. So they were the main ones as far as IWW goes. When I finished up in IWW and I went to DCW, they didn't have a training school apart from that 1 month when they did. But after that, I went to Main Stage. Main Stage had various different trainers. They had uh, Insano was the head trainer when I got there. Then eventually Joe Cabray came on. Sean Maxer Brennan had a spell there for a good while. Paul Tracy would be down a lot. And towards the end of Main Stage, I actually started taking classes as well. So yeah, that was a fun experience. And now with the School of Irish Wrestling, there's Joe, Paul, Paddy Morrow, and Jordan Devlin are they're the trainers now. Question 3, my first match. When and where? My first match was in Blanchardstown in February 06 against the Ballymun Bruiser. It was it was a weird time. I fell into the Irish Dragon role, really. The original Dragon had gone down with a back injury, and Simon Rochford, the guy who runs IWW, he wanted to hold on to the gimmick, but he obviously needed someone to fill it. And I was new, and I was similar size to the original Dragon. I fit the build. I did a lot of his moves anyway, so yeah, I got the opportunity then to fill his boots. I remember that match. It was like an 8-minute match, and I swear it felt like it was about 90 seconds long. It was just like it was over and done with, and I couldn't have been in safer hands with Bruiser. He was my trainer at the time, so we he took care of me out there. Question 4, my first championship. My first championship was the DCW heavyweight championship, I guess. Like it was called the heavyweight championship, but yeah, clearly not a heavyweight. So yeah, we'll just say DCW championship, which yeah, I don't even know if you want to count that, because you know, it was a WWE World Heavyweight title, like a replica belt, with just cardboard DCW letters taped onto it. So yeah, I guess, like, you know, DCW gets a bit of a kicking, and you know, rightfully so. It was a bit of a shithole, but look, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I did there, and I had a lot of fun there. I remember when the guys told me that they were putting the belt on me, I was very skeptical of it. Like, it didn't make sense storyline wise. It didn't. I didn't think I needed it, but at the same time, everybody was leaving. Vic Viper was the champion at the time, and he had enough of working with DCW, so he was on his way out. And yeah, they decided we'll put the belt on Dragon. So yeah, I guess technically I'm still the DCW champion because I was the last one. So yay, go me. Promotions that I have worked for. There's IWW, Irish Whip Wrestling, aforementioned DCW, Dublin Championship Wrestling. While I was with DCW, I got an opportunity to wrestle abroad for Wrestling Portugal. I went to Mainstage Wrestling, MSW, Celtic Championship Wrestling, CCW, the ill-fated FTW, the Full Throttle Wrestling. I was there for all 2 of their shows. And OTT, obviously. I've done, I think I've only done one .ie show, and Phoenix Wrestling now as well. And for the few months that they're around, it was Uprising up north. Yeah, I worked a couple of shows for them as well. Question 6. Where did I come up with Terry Thatcher? I didn't come up with Terry Thatcher. That was the name was a Joker Bray idea. Like, we were toying with a couple of different ideas. I was coming up with, like, I don't know, Damo or Deco or something like that. And shout out Deco. Yeah, I was coming up with just little kind of those kind of names, little kind of nicknames. And Joe actually wanted me to use my own name, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to use my own name for it. But yeah, Terry Thatcher just kind of, I don't know, I guess it kind of came out of nowhere. You know, Thatcher. I was coming in as a heel, and yeah, just even the name Thatcher would get heat. So there was that. From Scott, that's question 7. Where did the skinhead gimmick come from? Again, it wasn't necessarily my idea. It was a joke, right? Creation. It stemmed from I had been doing Dragon for so long, and Dragon's obviously he's a babyface, and OTT had just started. It was around a couple of months, and Joe just he wasn't interested in bringing Dragon in. He was just the crowd won't buy Dragon, like an over 18s crowd won't buy Irish Dragon. At the very least, they won't buy it in the setting, in the way that I was at the time, like the gear that I had and all. So he's just like, look, maybe if you went out and got like some really, really expensive, really cool looking gear, it might work, but it's a big risk, and it's an awful lot of money to pay to for a gimmick that may or may not get over. So he was very hesitant about using Dragon. And I happened to be down at training one day at main stage and running a little spot. I think it was me and Pat Ward, and we were doing a spot. I was getting a bit of heat on him, and just whatever it was that happened that day, it just like cranked up the aggression, and everybody there was just like, oh, okay, your Dragon can be a heel. Because no one had seen that, because I'd been a babyface for pretty much my entire career. And yeah, it took a lot of people back, and Joe saw it, he liked it, and he actually sent me a message later on that night saying, look, dude, your aggression levels were off the chart tonight, like, keep that. I'm thinking of something for you. That was pretty cool. I still have that message on my phone. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. But that's where the idea of me turning heel was, of me doing a heel run. And you know, again, this was at the start of OTT, where we're doing kind of some outlandish gimmicks and yeah, pushing the boundaries. And Joe had this idea of skinhead from the likes of This Is England, the movie This Is England. I took it more of American History X, which probably wasn't the best choice either, because yeah, it's just there's a certain stigma that comes along with skinheads, and particularly the style that the dress sense, the attire that I was wearing. Yeah, it was it was borderline racist. Yeah, I think yeah, there was that was a fine line we had to tread. That like I could look like a racist, but I couldn't actually be a racist in any way, which was yeah, it was a difficult gimmick to pull off. Like I was a little uncomfortable in it, if I'm being honest. But I really enjoyed being a heel. It was an interesting challenge. Question 8. Is there any moves I wish I could do but aren't able to? Yes, all of the moves. Yeah, yeah, not as young as I used to be. I'm 32 years of age. My body doesn't cooperate with me the same way it used to when I was 18. So I wish I could still pull off the 450 the same way I used to be able to. But no, last few times I tried it, I was like knees first. So yeah, I'll cut that out. A few others like I'd love to be. Do you ever see Darren Carney, the way he does that? Like he does the Takamichinoko dive up onto the top rope. It's insane. I'd love to be able to, but nah, I just I can't do some of that stuff anymore. I'd also love to straighten up my moonsaults as well, but yeah. And I think that's somewhat of my charm, I guess, is being a bit rough around the edges with all of my stuff. Um, Question 9. Which matches do I think have been the most important matches of my career? I don't know. I've had a few. I've had a few that kind of stick out. In my early days, I think it was like my fifth match or something like that. I had a match against Red Vinny on a Gym War show for IWW, and that really kind of it helped me. It's just okay. This like felt like a big deal, and we were given enough time, and really enjoyed that match. Myself and Vinny, we've been back in contact over the past while, and we've talked about it a bit, and I still really enjoyed that. He really enjoyed it as well. Um, some of my matches with Bruiser, just because Bruiser gets a bad rap. Uh, he's not always the easiest person to work with, but like I've always had great chemistry with Bruiser, and he brought out a kind of toughness in me as well. He developed he helped me develop a kind of tougher skin, quite literally, because he would chop the absolute life out of me. um, DCW, I had a couple of decent matches as well. Like I had a really good one with Danny Deans, and I had a series of matches with a very young Ryan Smile, actually, which was a lot of fun as well. Which again helped me develop develop as a character, develop as an in-ring performer. Was getting to have these bigger, longer matches, because I with IWW I'd have it was more of a touring brand. So there was no storylines, and there was nothing. It was just a match for the sake of it. Whereas DCW it was all storyline. It was the exact opposite. Too much storyline. But yeah, I had a couple of really good matches with Ryan Smile. Moving on to main stage. We did a Fibber show, the first over 18 show, and that was an important match. I think that's actually it's up on my YouTube channel. Should be on this if you can find it. I had a really fun match. I had another one of the over 18 shows against Joe, against Omen. I'd never worked with Joe before. I was fairly nervous going into it, but like Joe, absolute pro. Took care of me the entire time. Maybe looked like $1,000,000. Yeah, absolute pro. I do. I really enjoy working with Joe. Then as far as OTT goes, Jonah Rock. I don't think I need to say much more about that. Like it's one of the most important matches of my career, without a doubt. Probably the most important match of my career. Obviously, then winning the NLW title against Scotty in the tournament finals. Getting to work with Jordan, getting to work with David Starr, Timothy Thatcher, Eddie Kingston. Loved working with Eddie Kingston. He was that was a blast. And then my run with Mark Haskins. So yeah, they'd be some of my most important matches. Question 10. Who's been my all-time favourite opponent? Yeah, well, a lot of the same people. Like Red Vinny. I loved working with Red Vinny, Ballymon Bruiser. And in main stage, when we were doing kind of local shows, myself and Kenji, or Electro, or Adam Ace as he is now, we always had great chemistry against each other. I really enjoyed our matches. He's a good friend of mine as well, so we never had an issue with laying it in. I think I may have chipped his tooth once or twice. Yeah, I don't know how much validity there is to that. But yeah, the likes of Ryan Smile then as well, like getting to work with him in the early days. Eddie Kingston was an absolute pleasure to work with. really was. And yeah, everything I've done with Haskins as well. I'll get on to Haskins later, don't worry. Question 11. What made you pick out your current entrance song? Orla. Yeah, she really loved that song. And at the time when I was coming into Contenders, I dropped the skinhead gimmick. I was going for a bit of a change. I wanted to do this whole idea that I'd be a heel, but I'd kind of be a disingenuous babyface. So I'd like pretend that I'm a good guy the entire time, and I always like that line in the song, "Don't put the blame on me." So I'd be really like, "Hey, look, everything that happened before, like, don't blame me. Don't blame me for any of that." So that was the idea, but eventually, then as things wore on and I turned babyface, and yeah, just the only human part started kind of making a lot more sense. And yeah, I'd take those beatings. So yeah, it fit the character, the lyrics, and the song. I enjoy the song. Now, I'll let you in a little bit of a secret. I have been contemplating changing it. Let me know if that's a good or a bad idea. Question 12. Most underrated Irish wrestler I've faced and who has a big future? Um, as far as underrated guys that I've faced, Eddie Stone's a bit underrated as well. I reckon I've got to work with Eddie a couple of times, and yeah, I think Eddie's really good. I don't think he gets a lot of credit. Um, I've mentioned Red Vinny a fair few times. If you're new to Irish wrestling, you may not know who Red Vinny is, but Vinny was so far ahead of his time. Um, yeah, he was doing stuff way back in the day that lads are struggling to do now. Vinny was a game changer back then, and it's incredibly unfortunate what ended up happening with him. But yeah, it's just yeah, he was a massive game changer. Um, a bit of a weird one, but Martina actually is a little bit underrated just because everybody focuses so much on the gimmick and never really. And like she's gotten a lot more praise over the years, but for so long everybody just focused on the gimmick and said the gimmick was great and oh she's so funny and all, but like she's really good in the ring as well, and I think she's really starting to show everybody that as well. Um, Underrated. Sammy Day actually. Sammy is so good. Sammy Day is so good at everything that he does, and I think a lot of the reason why he doesn't get as much recognition is because he's not very active on social media. But he's genuinely one of the best in the country. As far as future stars, I mean, there's plenty of them. Like getting to be in the ring with Justin Daniels there recently. Well, I say recently. At the end of last year and the start of this year, I got to work a match. I got to work two separate matches with Justin Daniels, and he is just so good. He's so good, and he's only what 16. Sickens me. Yeah, he's gonna be a breakout star over the next while. Question 13. Favorite OTT show I've watched from a fan standpoint. Probably Scrapper Mania 4. I want to say. Um, yeah, there was so much good stuff on that. There was the Cruisers, the Angel Cruisers against uh, Zach Gibson and Charlie Sterling. That was really good. That was the one with the machine gun and the sword and all. That was such a good match. They had a Riddle and Osprey as well, excellent, and and that main event with Jordan and Zack Sabre Jr. was phenomenal, phenomenal. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, it was really really good. Yeah, I got to watch the whole show, so that was awesome. Also, Scrapper 5 then as well. It's fantastic, and just being in the crowd and watching that reaction to Jordan finally beating Walter. Like, I popped so much for all the boys, like Joe coming out and stopping Walter, and then like Paul coming out and stopping Walter, like the whole thing. Like it was excellent, and being there and witnessing that eruption when Jordan won was phenomenal. Uh, Question 14. What one OTT match I've had do I consider to be one of my best wrestling performances? That's, yeah, Mark Haskins, contenders. It was, I honestly, I think it was the best I've ever been, personally. I think it's one of the better matches I've ever had. Um, yeah, it was just, I loved it. I loved the entire thing about the match. I loved the whole story in the match. I loved, um, everything that we did. I was able to pull off some excellent bits, some incredible bits of selling, and it's uh, it's one of those that a lot of people really liked when they saw it, but so many of the boys and the girls backstage loved it as well. Like I walked back through the court into a standing ovation, which is rare. Usually reserved for when when someone wins a belt. And technically, I did win and lose a belt, but yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that, and I got like subsequent messages over the next few days saying uh, how much people really enjoyed it. So yeah, I personally I loved that match. Um, what visions, goals do I have for OTT for my OTT career? Who do I hope to face? Would I like to face David Starr? Now I've already faced David Starr. I wouldn't mind having another go. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I'd be wary about getting in the ring with David Starr now and having the entire crowd booing the life out of me. But sure, I've been booed before. I can be booed again. I'll take that. Um, what visions or goals do I have for OTT? I'd love to get hold of a belt again. Yeah, that'd be great. Uh, I'd love to. I want to be a permanent fixture as far as these big shows go. Um, I'd love to be able to get into a training position where I can start teaching classes as well. Uh, I think that'd be great. Who would I like to face? Oh, there's an entire list of people. Like I've never faced Justy in any capacity. Never even had a tag match again. That we may have been in a battle royal once, but like I've never done anything with Justy. I'd love to. Same goes with Maxer. Um, I would love to. I'd love to have a singles match against Paddy Morrow. I would love to have a singles match against Martina and LJ and Nathan Martin. Nathan Martin's actually he's one that I would definitely love to face. I think we gel. Um, as at the very least gimmick wise, we definitely would. Like, um, there's other guys like there's Danny Cross actually. I would love to do something with Danny Cross. He's one of those. He's so good. Um, yeah. So yeah, there's plenty of people that I'd still love to face. Uh, do I take bookings outside of Ireland? Would I like to work for a major promotion? Currently I don't take any bookings outside of Ireland. Um, I just got a young family. Kind of need to be here. Like we'll see, maybe. And plus, I've got issues with trying to get my passport sorted as well. Um, Working for a major promotion. Uh, yeah, that again, that'd be tricky with not being able to travel at the minute, and trying to devote my time to being a good dad as well, and being here for my kids. So yeah, that would be tricky. Obviously, I would love to. I would love to make a living off of professional wrestling, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's in the cards for me. If it is, I would have to seriously up my game. Um, do you watch WWE, AEW, Japan, etc.? Yeah, like I watch, I keep up to date with WWE, and like I go back and watch a lot of old stuff. Um, and I'd occasionally catch highlights of AEW or Japan or anything like that. But I don't really watch a lot of current products, and this is me trying to. I don't watch that new shit. Nah, it's just I just don't get around to it. Um, if I'm ever watching wrestling, it's usually watching old WWE stuff or watching OTT. It's basically it. Yeah, or watching just weird compilations on YouTube. Right, question what, 18? Jesus. What kind of jobs have I had outside of wrestling? I currently, well, not currently because nobody is working right now. Um, my job before the world fell apart was I worked in a furniture factory in a kitchen furniture. So just putting units and stuff together. Um, Before that, I worked in Smith's Toys for like 11 years, which yeah, was not fun all the time. Although occasionally, like I get the DOS out the back and like pile up a load of cardboard and slam my mates onto it and stuff like that. So yeah, it was fun in that way. Right. Oh, and plus, like I met my missus in Smith's as well, and here we are, like 12 years later. Right, 19. What is my number one interest outside of wrestling? Uh, my kids, me basically, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't really do an awful lot outside of pro wrestling. Like, um, just trying to be the best daddy that I can. I think I'm doing okay at it. I have my good days and my bad days, but like, yeah, I think I mainly have good days. Question 20. How has the whole COVID-19 situation affected my daily life? Well, as I said, I'm out of work, so that's it's given me a lot of time, but it has given me a lot more time to be daddy. And my I have Orla is 5 and Eva is 7, just gone 7 weeks old. Um, so I'm getting to be here a lot and see a lot of her little milestones and getting to see the interactions between Orla and Eva, which was, it was a bit of a concern when we decided to have a second child, like what would happen with Orla. But she's really, really coming around to being a big sister. She's really, really getting into it now. Um, so it's been great. It's been great in that sense. Like, yeah, we're all concerned and we're all worried about what's going on in the world. Um, Worried about our loved ones. I'm worried about our family and stuff like that. But you just gotta take it kind of day by day. Um, and yeah, just enjoy the time that we have and know that it's not gonna last forever. Hopefully we'll be able to come out on the other side. We'll be able to see the loved ones that we're missing. Uh, yeah, so looking forward to uh, going down and seeing my mum and dad when this is all over. And yeah, having a big L piss up with my friends and family. I'm really looking forward to that, and obviously finally getting back to wrestling. Oh, Jesus, more questions. Uh, Question 21. Despite being an Irish vet at this stage, I still wrestle at the school shows. How important are these shows, and who was a standout performer to me at the school? I love wrestling at school shows. They are incredibly important. There's only so much you can learn in the training school. There's only so much you can get done in those couple of hours. So yeah, you have to have that live audience experience, which is kind of ironic talking about considering what's been going on in wrestling lately. With these no fan shows. But yeah, they're incredibly important for developing new characters and new performers. I mentioned him earlier, Danny Cross. He's my one to watch. Um, he's just waiting for a breakout moment. And hey, maybe I could be the one to give him that breakout moment. Just throwing it out there. Um, yeah, Justin Daniels obviously as well. Like he's on his way. Uh, yeah, he's on his way to the moon. Like he's gonna be brilliant. The two lads, Kelly August Lynch, they're awesome. I love watching them at the last skill show. They're gonna be deadly. Love the gimmick. Yeah, yeah. There's plenty. There's plenty there. There's some of the ones that spring to mind that I'm really looking forward to seeing more of. Uh, Question 22. If I were to tag with someone from the Irish wrestling scene, the former tag team, who would I love to team with? Paddy Morrow. Yeah, I think he'd be my number one pick. I love Paddy. He's been a massive influence on me for the longest time. Like the very first show I ever went to see, the very first Irish wrestling show I went to see, he was in it. He was in the main event of it. Um, I get along with Paddy. I get along with really well behind the scenes as well. Yeah, we're just two grizzled old vets. Uh, still clinging on. Nah, I'd love to do something with Paddy. If I've not, question 23, if I'm not mentioned in the interview, thoughts on Mark Haskins and our brilliant feud. Yeah, well, first, thank you. Um, I hope you enjoyed it. Glad you did. He's just so good. He's so good as Mark Haskins. He's genuinely one of the best around. Um, it was such a pleasure working with him. Really was. He forces you to up your game, kind of like with Jordan and kind of like with David Starr as well. They genuinely force you to be better. They're gonna drag you up to their level. They're not gonna come down to yours. Um, and yeah, he genuinely made me better, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And getting to like the contender show was my favorite of the series. But getting to go into the basketball arena for Rama 3 and having the video and the Sean Ryan treatment, it was just felt like such a big deal, especially having Orla involved in it, and she still occasionally asked me to put that video on as well. It was yeah, so much fun. Really enjoyed it. Um, and I think anyway that I learned a lot from working with Mark. 24 people on the page are asking, do I have merch and can fans support me during this time? I do have merch. I don't have an online page at the minute. I might set one up though, because I have these t-shirts and I have some of my older t-shirts, so I might try and set up something. If not, if anyone is interested, yeah, just hit me up, DM me on Twitter. I might be able to organise something. You can find me at Detached on Twitter. Yeah, if you're interested, let me know. Finally, 25 from Linda, you bitch. Uh, what age do I reckon I'll need that knee replacement? My knees are fine, okay? My knees are grand. It's my back and my neck and my ankle and my wrists that are all messed up. No, my knees are grand. Yeah, I'm not Paddy. No, I'm okay. Like occasionally I'm sore, but yeah, I'm not that bad. Um, yeah. Well, that's it. That's 25. Um, so yeah, just before I go, I'd just like to say thank you to all the OTT fans, Irish wrestling fans, for the support over the years. Thanks for the opportunity to do this. I really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it too. Sorry it went really long. But you know, I've been around for about 4 decades. um, yeah. Look, like I said earlier, hopefully this thing, it's not gonna last long. It's not gonna last forever. And someday soon we'll be able to all get together again. Uh, and enjoy wrestling again together. And I look forward to seeing you all. Uh, if you wanna say hello, by all means, hit me up on Twitter. Um, like I said, I'm at Detached. Um, yeah, I do have a Facebook, but that's just for my family and stuff. So I will keep that kind of private. Some of you might be able to figure it out anyway. Um, but yeah, anyway, look, like I said, we're gonna get through this. Stay inside, wash your hands. Look, just listen to the guidelines, and keep socially detached. And yeah, we'll get through this together. See you all soon. All right, peace.